Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Now, for today's episode, it is another Tower of God lore. And obviously, I'm not intending for it to be the main focus of this entire series that I'm putting on here to talk about wrapping up the story. However, there is something important to note. With where we are in the story and Baam's progression, Baam doesn't have much further to go in terms of his physical strength before we can actually consider him ready to start his final act, fighting the 10 great warriors and actually bringing on the end phase to the tower. Now obviously we know that the story isn't all that far flushed out. We know there's a lot of subplot and a lot of plot going in, and I have made a few guesses towards it, but what really tells me that the point where subplots are about to explode is what has happened in the story so far. We've got this big bad in the form of White showing his true colors again. White showing his true colors is no small feat. The fact that he's going after Baam again at this particular point in the story tells me that we're about to get the full force story coming up. We're going to get unbelievable amounts of crazy characters popping out of the woodwork. So what is that going to mean for the rest of the story when we need to move forward, when we need to think about other individuals in terms of their end stories? Well, Rachel's story only has about 2 or 3 more acts left in it. She needs to reveal the secrets that she's hiding. We've gotten a lot of teasing that she knows more than she's left off so far. We know there's another secret that she's hiding besides the secret about Baam. It could be about what he really is, right? It could be what's really supposed to happen when you finish off the final floor of the tower. She might know the answer to this. It's a possibility. The next thing which we should be keeping an eye on is the fact that our main cast of characters haven't had any betrayal. They haven't had any real painful situations amongst them. The only one who's shown some betrayal was right in the start, and that was Rachel. Wagner is behaving real weird at the moment as far as we know what he's been up to. We know that he went down to awaken Hureng, and we know that his power really shot up a lot since then. We can expect to see Wagner really powered up the next time that we see him, and I don't think that Wagner is going down. I think our big bad final act in the story is going to be a fight between friends. So right now, as we're climbing, the first thing that you have to remember is Baam's fights here in the nest are basically showing that he's in the end phase. He's not in the midway story. Midway story would be the moment he fought his first ranker, right? And defeated his first ranker. Fought and defeated a ranker would be midway. We got a lot of teasing up to that point that he was really powerful. Then beyond that day, he's taken on a high ranker. And right now, he's about to take on somebody who is well beyond that particular point. Somebody who is unbelievably powerful in the form of White. We've got the hints that White is going after him. We know that White is going to aggravate this till there's a fight between him and Baam, and I don't see a way for Baam to escape this. And Baam isn't the type to make someone sacrifice their life for him, so he's more than likely going to engage White. Now, I'm obviously keeping some things a little bit more aloof than I should, but I'm just saying it in this way because I'm a little bit ahead of the story, and eventually we might have caught up with where I was when I decided to make this, but we'll just keep it at that. So here's the whole story. When Baam fights White, he cannot lose, right? If Baam loses to White, then things are going really, really messed up, and Baam is going to fail to get his master no matter what. The whole story is over, because then Baam is dead and White will eat him. Also, there is a second possibility. Cha could jump in just as he is about to fight White, and we're going to get Cha versus White to save Baam. and Balm will help Cha out a little bit, and they're gonna kill White together. Obviously, then that means that the big bad for Balm is gonna be in the next arc when he has to defeat Calavan. So obviously, nonetheless, he's now gonna beat high ranker status. We know that he is more than a regular ranker. He's definitely powerful enough to take on advanced rankers. He is in their level. We have seen him fight a little bit with high rankers. We've seen that he can hold up against them for 1 or 2 seconds. We've seen that he can harm them and hurt them. That was Gado from the Nesta. So we know that he is in a high ranker level of power. Obviously, with the teasing at high rankers being the ones that he's fighting, that tells me that the top 100 is where we're going to get him for the next blast out of the season. When he starts pushing out beyond the top 100 rankers, that is when things enter the final phase. And I see that as a possibility for the story. The story is over 500 individual chapters, right? I'm going to call them chapters, I'm going to call them episodes. Actually, I think episodes is better. It's more than 500 episodes old. That means the story is over 10 years old because there's hiatus and all those things you have to keep in. With all of that considered, we're almost at 10 years of the story. The author most probably intended to keep it going for 15 to 20 years, but at this point he's going to have to start wrapping up his story due to his physical health. We've seen that he has had a lot of problems with his wrist. And obviously nobody lives forever and no artist wants to leave his work incomplete. So he might give us the complete story and start pushing it up a lot faster when the next part of the story kicks in. So he's going to give us this arc, and we might miss a little bit of a subplot arc, like how we had the station arc before they jumped on the train. If you're thinking about it from the last season, when he finished off the workshop battle, we had that whole story with the train city. The train city arc was an absolute waste of time arc. Not much was developed in there. We just got a little introduction to a few new characters. You could have done this for the Nest arc, but something tells me that he did it the way he did to get us into the right point. We needed the whole cage up. We needed to have an understanding between Balm and another Slayer. We needed to see the progression of the relationship between Balm and Karaka. And with all of that comes a lot of things. If Balm has already assembled 3 of the 11 Slayers, that means that we're going to see more Slayers show up. And he's also even aggravated to the point of opening war for the tower. So there's war in the tower. He's got 3 of the 11 Slayers active. He might get more Slayers to jump on his side. He's got 2 Elders on his side right now. So that's 2 Elders, 3 Slayers. So Fug is definitely well committed to him. We know Lazlak would love to be there and be on his side, but if Lazlak shows up, the 10 family heads will show up. And I have a feeling, as I said, that one of the 10 family heads is about to show up in this arc. Now, moving on from this point, we're going to see a lot of combat. We're going to see Balm and the rest of his friends start to climb to the higher levels of power. Obviously, the 3 of them together can fight rankers. Balm can take out rankers left, right, and center. He doesn't really have to worry about it. They easy can be for him to take out a ranker. He just holds back non-stop when he beats them. He just has to activate his thorns and he's through the roof with power. He has the power of the soul, which makes him unbelievably powerful. Remember, they even said the ability to use teleportation is a high-ranking ability. So he has a high-ranker ability as part of his regular skills. He's got the Shinsu Orb, right? The Black Hole Sphere. Black Hole Sphere plus the Orb makes an unbelievably powerful tactic and skill. Considering how crazy he gets with using powers, I wouldn't be surprised if he learned already to use up to 6 orbs at a time. But nonetheless, that's going to accelerate his power to the next level. And then he still has the Thorn and all of this. All of this is still to come. We're still going to see more fighting. Okay, so I'm not yet at the end of it. It is my estimation that we have around 200 to 300 episodes in this particular series before SIU is going to stop, right? 200 to 300 episodes. The reason for it is quite simple. With SIU's health declining, and as I said, the story being so long in the works, SIU's going to try and wrap it up. And he's going to take out a little bit of subplot here and there. He's going to give us all the information in big bursts, and he's done that. Right now, in the middle of this fight in the nest, he's given us so much of plot on each and every member of Yasracha's team that we understand the fight that's happening between Yasracha and the Canine people. We already understand what's his whole objective. He likes to dominate everything. We learned that with, I'm forgetting the name of that commander who tried to trick that wave controller. I'm forgetting her name, and I'm forgetting his name as well. It's the one where Huts ignited the sword. That's the Rancor who I'm talking about. That old side said that something crazy was about to go down. Then beyond that, we're going to have other things which are going to start accelerating out of control in the story. This fight is said to be very big. We knew that it was going to be very big before we even entered this. And we already knew that Bam is going to be the wave to shake up the tower from the time he entered. We know that this is going to happen. We don't know whether he's going to be the wave to destroy the systems within the tower. We just know that he's shaking it. But at this point, whatever he does is going to have such a big impact that it's going to carry over non-stop wherever we are. We're going to see more fighting. We're going to see more internal strife. We've already seen that there's a war breaking out between between Po Birao and Jahan. So we know that there is already one faction who's going to start fighting really soon. The next thing that we know that's going to happen is we know for a fact that Bam is definitely going to go through some chaotic emotions in this fight. We know that Bam is going to escalate to another level more than likely before this arc is over. And there's not much further for him to go than ascending beyond the Rancor. At the 20th floor, he was already ready to tie with the Rancor. He may not have been able to beat the Rancor, but the Rancor couldn't easily beat him either. So there is just something to show where Bam was starting 20th floor. By the end of the 48th floor, he was on Rancor level. That tells you that he was already unbelievably powerful, and his power was really dangerous. He could kill a Rancor with his power. Then moving up, we are now 15 floors higher, or so, I'm not 100% sure. But nonetheless, he showed us that he was even more powerful during the Cage arc, where he actually fought with the Canine people. He took on high rankers and he took on advanced rankers. So we know that he is gone beyond advanced ranker. So he's almost in the high ranker level. He managed to compete with Gado's level of power. He actually was enough of a threat to wake up one of the top 200 high rankers. So that says that Bam is really powerful. Now moving on from there, the next thing to note is Bam has very little to go in terms of development. This last ignition of the souls skyrocketed his power. We know that it's been skyrocketed because he said it immediately after igniting the souls. So we know Bam is at that level. We don't have much further to go. The next thing that he's going to do is kill a high ranker, right? Once he defeats a high ranker, then we know we're in the end phase. The only people who are going to interfere with him are the top 10 in the... Not top 10, the top 30 in the tower basically. So he's going to have the 10 great warriors, he's going to have the lords and the princesses of Jahat to fight with. Those are going to be his opponents moving forward from that point. So if he beats White now, he has to beat Mashni. Or he has to fight Mashni at least. Mashni is really powerful, it's just below the 10 great warriors. But once that goes through, then the next story is going to be the princess arc. And I think the princess arc is going to be way more chaotic than we can imagine, because SIU did let it slip that the princess arc is coming. We're going to see... Sorry about this. We're going to see Garam. We're going to see Yuri. Definitely Yuri has to show up again. We're going to see Ender Rossi. We're most probably going to run into Rachel for a little bit, but she's not going to be part of the major fighting over there. We're going to run into Maria Jahan. we're going to run into a lot of these other key characters, Dila and Sheila. Everybody who we've heard up to now, they're all going to show up for this arc. And Elaine is most probably going to play a big part in it. If you watch my previous video, you'll hear what I said about it. And from there, we're going to have the princess fights. I'm suspecting that Adori is going to show up to try and take out Bam. And when she fights Bam, she's going to push him on the back foot. And he's going to get out with with the consequence, like Yuri jumping in to stop it and helping him get away. We'll never get an end to that fight because we're going to get that fight again before the last season ends, in the last 30 floors of the tower. And once it reaches that point, we can expect to get a lot of crazy things going on. And here's what I am suspecting for the next part after we pass the princess arc. We're gonna have the 100 to 134th floor. We're gonna have at least 8 of the 10 great warriors show up. We're gonna have them defeated. He's gonna defeat Arie Han more than likely. He has to do it on the 100th floor. And that is gonna make a big show of things. We're gonna get Yurik jumping in to join him because they want to go beyond the 134th floor. So they're gonna join him. They're gonna find out what they need to do. Look for all the weapons from the princesses. So there is going to be something that we're going to see going on. The princesses are going to be in full action at this point, trying to stop Bam. Yuri is most likely going to either be dead or on Bam's side, one of the two. I don't suspect it to be any other way. But everything will escalate at this point. The fighting is going to get insane, and then we're going to reach the 134th floor. When we reach the 134th floor, some pieces of the action are still going to be going on below him, and he's going to be on the 134th floor to try and stop everything by taking out Jahad. At this point, things are going to go insane, and Bam will go all the way up to Jahad, and we're going to get the big fight for the finale, Bam vs Jahad, right? And that'll end the main parts of the war. Everybody will stop fighting. It's standard for manga tropes or anime tropes. So the wars stop, everything stops when they hear the defeat of the king. People are all sad and people are all happy, and the standard emotions when you win or lose in a fight. And from there comes the climax of the story where the hidden evils show up. We're going to get Rachel's final part at this point, where she's going to give away all the information about Bam. One of Bam's friends is most definitely going to end up turning on him, who's gotten crazy powerful all of a sudden out of nowhere. The awakening of a King Seed could be it. In other words, I'm hinting that I suspect Wagner will be the final enemy at this point. And we're going to get a Bam vs Wagner story. And we're going to get a show up from Hiron, from many of the other characters who haven't shown up for a very long time. And when all this is over, we're going to get the climb going on past the 134th floor. There is no way that the tower is staying closed off at the 134th floor. It has to continue up. And if beyond the 134th floor is the end, then it's the end of the tower. But I don't think it's the end. I think it still continues all the way to the top. So that is my prediction for what's going on. And the reason why this is so important for noting within the story, even though I've said it before and I've given a couple of other theories to the same plot, the reason why it's so important to say this is a lot of people don't realize how far the story has come. And I have nothing else to say about it. I'm actually going to release this video when I feel that it is about time for it. So it might not release immediately right now, but it would be episode 21 in my Law series, which would be just after the Local VI Lane video. If it doesn't launch then it means that I held it back and I decided to launch it at a later point. So yeah, this is exactly where I am. Today's date is, let me just give you the date so you know when I called the end of the story and what I suspected. Today is the 9th of September. 9th of September 2020. So see you all then, and